Well, here's this spigot to a well. It actually runs off of a cistern that's up over that way. And right there, you hook up a generator. Right in there. And then that goes underground way over there to where a pump is. And that close that spigot right there, and it will pump up to the it'll pump up to the cistern. Otherwise, if you open it, it won't pump up there, and instead it will pump out right there. So the idea is that you fill up that cistern up there, keeping that thing closed, and then the pump then you turn off the pump, and whenever you need water, you just lift that up and it drains out of the cistern. So over there is where I was just showing you the spigot. It's beyond these trees and then another 50 yards. And over here, this is where the electricity feeds into from that generator. And right down here is the pump that goes down 180 feet about. And it pumps the water up here to a cistern, which goes, it's mainly underground. It goes down like it's 1,500 gallons, I think. So it's pretty big. And so then the water is gravity fed from up there. So this area has some logging roads that are pretty overgrown. Overgrown, but really just debris that has fallen on it needs to be cleared off if you're going to get in here again. And I was just noticing all throughout down here, it could use a good thinning, I think. Just a lot of little trees growing that are probably too close to each other. I'm going to continue on this way. I can hear down that way there is a stream. Continuing along, I found this clearing, and I can really hear the water rushing along down there. It's probably a little stream. And right out there, in the distance, that prairie. It's an area between John Day, Oregon and Prairie City, Oregon. Well, I came down the side of the hill. It was up over that way. And I did make it down. I can see the water now through these really thick trees. You might be able to see a little bit of glistening. I'm going to make my way in there. I've got to go through this. These are, I think these are red firs right here. When I look at these, the needles are flat, and the bottom side of them have this, see, they kind of curl over there at the end like little hockey pucks or something. And the bottom of them have these little silver streaks on them. So I think that those are the markings of a red fir. And there's a good number of them here. And this area here obviously needs to be thinned out. Some of these are pretty old trees, and they can grow to be twice the height of this one if you let them go another 30, 40 years. Well, I found water. All right. Well, I found this kind of interesting meadow. The stream is back that way. Right over here is this kind of spring or meadowy area. After a considerable hike, gotten to the edge of this plot. So this is private property right out over here. And looks like it's fenced off going up that way. And kind of fenced off going down that way. This, by the way, is the south end of this lot, and sort of east area of this plot. I think this plot goes up about another 1,000 feet up that way. So maybe I'll just sort of walk along that trail. Well, here I am at the corner, at the southeast corner. Fence runs this way and down that way. That way is west. And this property goes up over that mountain and down this way about a half a mile. About a mile that way and a half a mile that way. It's about 280 acres, and another 40 acres would be a mile by a half mile exactly. But there is on the what is it, the northwest corner of the property, there's 40 acres taken out. So it's basically a rectangle with a corner of it removed. So this property lies down and it kind of looks like Utah. A little while ago I was standing, I don't know, somewhere up here on a ridge, looking out, showing you the area between John Day and Prairie. This is a view from down that side and up on this side. There are these little rocky outcroppings on the side of this. Well, it's a mountain. I don't call it a mountain because I come from the Rocky Mountains, but you know, these are pretty good sized hills, that's for sure. I guess you can call them mountains, but you know, you're up high enough and you get some pretty interesting views. And all along here there are these rocky outcroppings. There are some pretty large ones over there that I was going to hike down to and get a view off of. And it's kind of fun just to look down. And from up here, I can still hear, you know, that stream that's right down in there. Right here, a little squirrel trail. Goes running right up here into this ravine. And right in this little hole here, it's about 15 degrees cooler than where I was right up there. It's only about 70 degrees right here. And where I'm from, Salt Lake, Utah, it is 100 degrees right now. I'm coming up on another ravine up here. Just walking this fence line. You can see how that fence line just goes right down there. That's where I'm going. Now I think this property ends right down, as you start to go down that ravine. Probably you go down that ravine and go part way up on that hill over there, and then the property heads to the west. Well, I just got to the bottom of this ravine. Goes down that way, obviously, and just looked back. At how thick the trees are in through here. They've got to be thinned out, I think. But still, the property continues to go up this way. The fence line does, so I'm gonna start walking up this way until I find the end of it. Here's one of those rocky outcroppings I was talking about. Well, I'm still walking that half mile, going down another ravine. So I walked up a little in the last shot, showed where I was going to walk up. Well, I got to the top up there, and now I'm walking down here, and you can still see the fence line right over here. And I don't know what I'm getting myself into. It looks pretty thick down in here. Found it. I found it. So this is the other corner. This is another corner. It's the this is the northeast corner, and so I walked from about a half mile that way, came this way, and this is the edge. And now it heads on west that way. It's really some pretty views out here. So I'm gonna just head down this way now. Well, I've been hiking quite a ways. Still walking westward along the fence line here. And I hear that that creek. I'm getting pretty close to it. I think it's just right over this here. Yeah, there it is. Just walking back up. Now, I'm gonna head back to where I set my tent up. And right now I'm about a quarter of a mile from where I was. I was way up over there, about a quarter of a mile, and I traversed all along the ridge up there, about a half mile. It's nice to walk along this stream in the shade of these trees. Right down here is where that 5-acre pasture is. You can see there's a water trough right there. And that's the back fence. Right up over here is the front part of the fence. And over here you can see there's a gate, which is how you get into it. So you can put some horses or something in there. Back at camp here. I'm gonna take a little walk down